guest analyst. That would happen to be Mr. Craig Bolanos. He's the co-founder and wealth advisor at VestGen Wealth Partners. Thanks for being on the show, Craig.
Hey, bank earnings are great. PPI producer prices just came down. Barring the exorcism I felt I just watched over the last 7 days, life's okay on a Friday.
Yeah, I mean, those are all good news. The market should take it that way, but it's just still so skittish.
Well, it's going to be skittish for a while. I mean, especially when people continue to focus, you mentioned it, on the bond market and the dollars. I mean, in recent years, we have been so exceptional. The U.S. is exceptional, but over the past couple of years, these huge advances in technology, the mass amount of cheap energy, more than any other major economy on the planet, that made investors flock to us because we're exceptional, buy all of our assets. The problem is we have a perception problem now. People think we're a little less predictable, a little more antagonistic, maybe more isolated, and for foreign investors from the outside looking in, it gives a perception that maybe we're a little bit less safe.
Yeah, I get it. So that's good news. I mean, we got it's interesting to see how we're going to react to good news, right? Because everybody just doesn't know what's coming around the corner. How do you feel about this escalation with China? Do you feel as though, I mean, are we just basically in a semi-embargo?
We're at that point where it's like escalation. It almost reminds me of what happened last year when I saw the Israelis and the Iranians trading blow for blow, calling each other, saying they're sending missiles over, please intercept them. So when China just hit the U.S. with that 125% tariff up from 84, but it came with something. It came with de-escalation because it said they won't go further. So maybe this is how it's played. They need to save face, saying they had the last one up. They just set the stage, saying it's not going any higher, after our president earlier this week said he wasn't going any higher. So when I look at it through a lens of the UN, the United Nations of Finance, I think that's a good indication to many of us.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we're looking for. Maybe that's the beginning of the end. I mean, I don't know how many countries they're talking about, but where do you stand on all the other countries that they say are lining up to do deals?
I have to think that it's true. There's a reason we haven't had a nuclear war. It's mutually assured destruction. I mean, I remember the 80s and how scary it was. Heaven forbid the 60s, huddling under a desk. When we're talking about finance, that's exactly it. Nobody can afford to have a financial war. It would be mutually assured destruction. I mean, case in point, foreign countries hold $7 trillion of treasury bonds.
Right.
Everyone gets worried that they're just going to go and sell them. No, they can't sell them unless they want to blast their economies back to the Stone Age. That's why, in a very weird way, it's actually good that we have this debt out there. It's good that we rely on other countries to continue to roll over that debt. And we just need to protect our position, which is America is the world's bank, and we still are the safe haven for anyone who thinks that's no longer the case. You're wrong. We still are the world's reserve currency.
I just did an interview on your favorite station up in Chicago, AM 560, here earlier this morning. I don't know if you were listening, but to that point, do you want to take your money from dollars and then put it into, the yuan, the Chinese currency? I mean, a lot of people talk about the dollar losing its reserve status, but I mean, where's it going to go?
It's not going into Bitcoin. Although Bitcoin's been legitimized as a storage of value potentially through this entire story. I mean, that's a whole show that we can do, Scott. That's a very interesting thing that's happening underpinning the surface. But no, I don't see a single other country that has the credibility, the finances, the infrastructure, you name it, to take our place as the world's reserve currency. What we've talked about with our clients for years now, till I'm blue in the face, that we won't be as dollar denominated across the globe. That's just normal. That's called progress. Whether I like it or not, that's how it goes. But we still are number one, and I don't think we're going to secede the pole position anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think so either. There's a lot of chatter about that, and maybe maybe the other administration could have ushered in some negative stuff. But I think now, even though the dollar is getting slammed and getting cheaper, there's some anti-dollar sentiment out there right now because of what's been going on with the tariffs. You can see that the 10-year yield has actually gone up again today. So those things have decoupled. When the 10-year yield rises, generally speaking, that relationship goes in the same direction. The dollar will get stronger, but not right now. The anti-dollar sentiment is pretty high. Wouldn't you agree?
No, the anti-dollar sentiment is very high. And remember, to our leaders, to everybody, don't ever take anything for granted. Life is more fragile than people choose to recognize. I remember, Scott, you spent some time on the other side of the pond. It was just 3 years ago that Liz Truss, no one even remembers who she was, the UK Prime Minister. She proposed those steep tax cuts, and what happened to British bond yields? They skyrocketed. Where is she now? She's sitting on the beach retired. So we need to be careful as we think about the state of U.S. financial affairs. We need to be mindful of how we budget score tax cuts, because we wouldn't want to have such a fate repeat itself. I can't think it would, but never say never.
Well, the 10-year yield's on the rise here again today. Great to have you on as usual. Have a great weekend, Craig. That's Craig Bolanos. He's a founder and wealth partner at FestGen Wealth Partners in Chicago. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more right up to this.